Hello. Okay. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? We're just coming on the air, and we are trying to make sure that that we have everything connected correctly. I'm Don Hughes. Thanks for joining me here on NetNewz TV or on thirdstreet.tv, wherever you are getting this news, wherever you're getting this feed. We welcome you, and we're happy that you're here. And if there's anything that we can do to make your stream and get you more information, please let us know, because it's our job. It's my job to give you as much information as I can about these fires and about everything that is happening in our community on the west side here in Southern California, in Santa Monica, and as much as we can give you some information about what's happening in the Pacific Palisades. Yesterday, I was on the scene at the wildfires and up in Pacific Palisades. It is it's pretty horrible up there. The place looks like it literally looks like a war zone. I'm not exaggerating on that. It literally looks like a war zone, and yeah, it looks horrible. It looks horrible up there. So right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get into my system and make sure that everything is updated, so we can give you the best possible information, the best possible news, and we can help make your life a little more informative and a little better, as much as we can. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second. I got a lot of things that I'm trying to do. A lot of things that I'm trying to do, and a lot of things that I'm just trying to make sure that are up and running as we move into this, to the news here that we've got going on here on Third Street TV and NetNewz.tv. Sorry that I'm a little bit scattered, but I'm just a one-man band here, trying to bring you the news and trying to do everything by myself. You know, what they say is that an entrepreneur can do a little bit of everything. The entrepreneur's problem is doing everything. You can do everything, but you can't do everything, meaning that you know how to do all the stuff to make the business work, but how do you grow it? And when you try to scale, the entrepreneur can't do it all by himself. So that's where we are. And again, my name is Don Hughes. I'm with NetNewz TV and thirdstreet.tv. If you're interested in sending us some of your material, please do. You can join the Citizen Journalism Project at www.hmgi.tv. And once you get to there, you just navigate over to the Citizen Journalist page and sign up for an account, and you can send us some of your footage, video footage, audio and video footage, or just if you want to send a picture, you can do that. And we'll use that as part of our ongoing news coverage of these fires. So please feel free to reach out to us on the Citizen Journalism Project at www.hmgi.tv and sign up for one of the accounts there. It's free. I won't sell your information. I won't try to use you as a monetary fund, but we're just trying to push out as much information to help the people and the public as possible. Let's take a quick look over at what KTLA, Channel 5 here in Los Angeles is doing. There's an airplane that is sweeping through the over the Pacific Palisades towards Brentwood, because what has happened is the fire has has expanded out into the Brentwood area, and that is a little bit closer to Santa Monica. Santa Monica is surrounded by Pacific Palisades on the far northwest side, and then on the northeast side, it's basically they butt up right one against one another. It's Pacific Palisades, Brentwood, Pacific Palisades, Brentwood, Santa Monica. So Santa Monica touches both Brentwood and the Pacific Palisades. So now what's happening is that the fire has spread east over to the Brentwood area. It's getting close to Mandeville Canyon and Kentner. And if it gets into Brentwood, it is much more likely and much more possible that it's going to get down into Santa Monica. So let's go real quick. We're going to join Mary Cairns-Bass news coverage right now.
We need to stay focused, but I will say that when the fires are out, make no mistake, we will have a full accounting of what worked and especially what did not. And I know that this is a top priority of the people that are here behind me and the firefighters and the first responders that are on the front line. There is nothing that I will not do for the city where I was born and raised. And I know that that goes for all of us. So let me be clear about something. The fire chief and I are focused on fighting these fires and saving lives, and any differences that we might have will be worked out in private. But right now, our first and most important obligation to Angelenos is to get through this crisis. When the fire is out, there will be time for us to evaluate, but at the same time, we also must begin the recovery effort, and there'll be more to come from that in the next few days. So you saw last night that the fires intensified. The Palisades fire expanded, leading to additional evacuations in Encino and parts of Brentwood. But despite the flare-up, relentless air and ground assaults has led to increased containment of the fire. Emergency shelter is open at the Lanark Regional Recreational Center in Canoga Park. We are updating on lacity.gov with information about assistance and up-to-date evacuations. The Hearst fire is now 76% contained, and the Sunset fire is almost 100% contained. FEMA teams are on the ground providing in-person support, helping Angelenos apply for disaster relief at the Westwood Recreation Center and Ritchie Valens Park. The Small Business Administration is now offering home disaster loans, business disaster loans, and economic injury disaster loans, which can be applied for at lending.sba.gov. Let me repeat that, lending.sba.gov. And is here too, helping our firefighters and secure the perimeter of our evacuation zones, aiding our Los Angeles police officers in having zero tolerance for crime. And let me just say that again, zero tolerance for crime. And so that means if you are bold enough that you are going to go into a fire area and attempt to break in homes or do looting of any type, you will be arrested, you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. In the grief, in the anger, in the pain that we are going through, the idea that there would be predators out there that would try to take advantage of this situation will not be tolerated. I want the people of Los Angeles to know that your emergency departments are working as hard and as fast as they can for you. We are a city, Los Angeles. We have been through tragedies before. I remember 1992, the civil unrest, when we had to rebuild the city. I remember 1994, the big earthquake. This tragic event will bring us together. We will stay together. We will get through the fires, and then we will rebuild our city, and we will rebuild our city even better. With that, let me introduce our Fire Chief, Kristen Crowley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. As Mayor Bass has stated, she and I met yesterday to discuss our shared priorities. Number one, first and foremost, we are both focused on our urgent needs to mitigate these devastating wildfires. Our top priority remains saving lives and protecting property. Second, we are committed to working together on community recovery and rebuilding efforts. Three, we are focused on building an LAFD that reflects the needs of the community we serve and which will prepare us for the many challenges that are ahead of all of us. I will now provide an update on the current fires. Palisades Fire. Yesterday evening, there was a significant flare-up on the northeastern boundary of the fire, threatening Mandeville and Sullivan Canyon areas. We immediately redeployed resources from the San Fernando Valley to begin evacuation and extinguishment efforts with a relentless air attack utilizing all available aircraft in the area. I can now report that we have increased the fire's containment from 8% to 11% with 3,712 personnel that are assigned to this incident. The fire is now at 22,660 acres with all evacuation orders and warnings. They all remain in place. The Hearst Fire, 799 acres, 76% contained. 2 structures were damaged. 305 personnel are assigned to that incident. Sunset Fire, halted, and I want to focus on that word, halted and stopped at 42 acres, 100% contained due to the due diligence of our first responders that are out there doing their work. Currently in a mop-up and patrol status and no active threat to the public. Now looking forward, over the next few days and into the next week, we will be facing another critical weather event. I want to assure the residents within our incredible city of Los Angeles that Mayor Bass, Chief McDonald, and I are in lockstep together, and that we will utilize every single resource at our disposal to ensure public safety and that we holistically protect Angelenos. Thank you, everyone. And next, I have the honor to introduce Police Chief McDonald.
Thank you, Chief, very much. As we navigate this challenging time, our primary focus remains the safety and security of our community. We're committed to protecting lives, safeguarding property, and maintaining order in the areas affected by the fires. Determining the cause of these fires is critical, and to that end, Mayor Bass, Chief Crowley, and I are announcing, in conjunction with our partner agencies, the creation of the Los Angeles Regional Wildfire Investigative Task Force. This task force is made up of local, state, and federal partners designed to investigate the cause of these fires and to see if there's any connection between them. The task force will be made up of, or is made up of, investigators from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, CAL FIRE, the Los Angeles Fire Department Arson Counterterrorism Section, Los Angeles County Fire Department Arson, Los Angeles Police Department Major Crimes Division, and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Arson and Explosives. Just announced this morning, or decided this morning, that the ATF will take over as lead agency on that. They have tremendous resources and expertise and can bring in resources from across the country to do their investigation. So we're very thankful for them and their resources. The LAPD remains on tactical alert, and we have dedicated resources to ensure the safety of our law enforcement and city, state, and federal public safety partners. LAPD officers are actively patrolling these areas around the clock. These efforts include enhanced visibility in evacuation zones and neighborhoods where homes and businesses are vacant. We're deploying marked and unmarked vehicles as well as foot patrols to ensure a strong presence and swift response to any issues that arise. LAPD currently has over 600 officers deployed to these areas with support from Port Police, who've provided personnel, and the National Guard, who've provided 40 personnel at various posts throughout the Palisades, and we're truly grateful for their support also. We've continued to respond to radio calls with reports of looting, although I'm happy to share that so far none have been substantiated in that fashion. Let me be clear on this, and the mayor just talked about it. We do have a zero tolerance policy for anybody attempting to exploit this crisis. Looting and other illegal activities will not be tolerated, and we've taken significant steps to prevent such behavior. Additional patrols are actively monitoring evacuated areas, and we've implemented a system of surveillance and rapid response. LAPD is enforcing a curfew in Los Angeles City areas where mandatory evacuations are still in place. The curfew will run from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Last night we arrested a total of 5 people for crimes involving curfew violation in the Palisades burn area. I want to remind everybody that unless you are public safety personnel or another type of disaster worker, you have no reason to be at these locations. And if we see you in those areas, you will be subject to arrest. Any person who refuses or willfully neglects to obey the curfew order in effect in any evacuation order zone or evacuation warning zone within the city of Los Angeles will be physically booked for a violation of California Government Code Section 8665. A violation of curfew order is a misdemeanor punishable by a fine and potentially imprisonment for up to 6 months, or both. The countywide curfew order is enforceable in the city of Los Angeles by LAPD officers. Enforcing a curfew is an important tool that will help keep the burn areas and evacuated property secure, keeping looters out. This effort also helps protect public safety personnel who are operating in darkness and in very difficult circumstances. I want to reassure everybody that your safety and security of your property remains our top priority. We understand the stress and uncertainty you are feeling, and we're doing everything in our power to protect what matters to you. I urge you to continue following safety guidelines issued by our emergency management partners and abide by any security checks and screenings. These measures are in place to protect lives and to allow first responders to do their jobs more effectively. In closing, I want to thank our officers who continue to work extended hours in a challenging environment, the National Guard, and all of our partners, particularly our fire partners, for their tireless efforts in responding to this crisis. I also want to express my gratitude to our community for your resilience and your cooperation. We will continue to provide updates as the situation develops and remain steadfast in our mission to protect and serve. Thank you, and please stay safe. Now my honor to introduce FEMA Regional Administrator Bob Fenton.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep, thanks. Well, let me start out by saying our hearts go out to everyone affected by the wildfires. And as our administrator yesterday said, we're committed to be here to help the community recover as long as it takes. One of the things that's important to us is having a strong relationship with not only the mayor, all communities in the state, and delivering assistance to those communities that have been affected, and we'll continue to make sure that we're here to do that. In addition to providing support on the response side, one of the areas that we're focusing now on our priority is to help those that have been affected by this event. And one of the ways we do that is through our individual assistance program. I want to start off with how to apply to that program. So the easiest way is to go to the website to disasterassistance.gov and apply there. You can also download the FEMA app and use that to apply. Or you can phone our 1-800-621-3362 number to apply for assistance. We've already had over 16,000 applications as of this morning, and we'll continue to take registrations into our system, and we'll be probably reaching out to many of those individuals. Those who that are insured, I urge you to go ahead and call your insurance company first. as you'll need that information through the registration process with FEMA as you go through that application process. One of the positive things that have happened in some of the changes of our legislation is we can help those that are underinsured, which I suspect will be a significant need here from these fires. FEMA is starting to expedite serious needs assistance. It's a one-time payment that helps survivors with costs associated to disaster-related needs, such as whether it's water, food, infant formula, things you had to purchase as you evacuated, and that's a one-time payment. Other forms of assistance include displacement assistance to help with hotel costs, minimal repairs to your house, other needs assistance, costs for if you have medical bills from this event, the unfortunate funeral costs that will come for some. If you lost your car in this event, you could go ahead and put that in for assistance from FEMA. And then ultimately, as we've seen the great devastation and loss of housing, temporary housing, whether it be through our rental assistance programs or other forms of temporary housing, that we'll work with the city, the county on how to provide those in the best way that meets the needs of the community here. So I'm working closely with the state and county and the city to ensure that we bring not only the full weight of the federal government, but working with community partners to make sure that we bring the resources that are needed to help recover. We are sending staff out to the field to help individuals register for our program. We'll start with going to the shelters and some of the other places, and we'll expand out and help individuals that need help registering. However, I urge you to go to the 3 locations I gave you, register online or register through the 1-800 number, as it's better to register before coming in and asking for extra technical assistance. Ultimately, we will work with the county and the city to set up local assistance centers where we'll have in-processing centers to help with your application. Lastly, I just want to continue to reiterate, we are here for the long term. We're here to financially support the response costs and to help individuals recover from the fire, and have the full weight of the federal government behind me to support any needs that the state or the county or the city have in response to these fires. Thank you.
Next is SBA District Director Julie Quellis.
Thank you, Mayor Bass. Thank you to all of our government officials, FEMA, and especially our first responders. Thank you so much for everything you are doing for the community. For those that are affected by these fires, my heart is with you. My team and I live here. We know what the challenges are ahead, and we're here to help you through that recovery process. SBA's disaster loan programs are open. They've been fully activated, and they are open, and people can apply today. The applications are available for homeowners, for renters, for businesses of all sizes, and for private nonprofits here in LA County. A quick overview of the programs for you. The Disaster Home Loan Program is loans to renters or homeowners to repair or replace disaster-damaged real estate and personal property, and this includes automobiles. Loan maximums are $500,000 for real estate and $100,000 for personal property, and this is for uninsured or otherwise non-compensated losses. Business physical disaster loans are also available for businesses of all sizes to repair or replace their disaster damaged property, including the real estate, inventory, supplies, machinery, and equipment. Businesses of all sizes and nonprofit organizations are eligible to apply, and the loan maximums are $2 million. Economic injury disaster loans are available to small businesses and nonprofits as a way to provide working capital to help them meet their ordinary and necessary obligations that otherwise could have been met but for this fire. Loan maximums for this program are $2 million. Interest rates are extremely low, under 4%, and in some cases 2.56% for homeowners and renters. We have a 12-month deferment on interest and payments. And we are in process of setting up some centers, but everyone is absolutely eligible to apply online today. SBA.gov/disaster will take you right to the info page and application. Also, SBA.gov, we have banners on our homepage to direct you right to these resources as well. And you may also reach out through our customer assistance line at email box, at disaster customer service at SBA.gov. Again, disaster customer service at SBA.gov. And we also have our cadre of business advisors through small business development centers, women business centers, veteran business outreach centers, and SCORE, who are all over the county with free business assistance ready to support any business concerns you may have, from recovery and rebuilding to applying for any of the assistance we talked about today. Thank you.
Next question to Lynette, and then second question.
Lynette? Who is Lynette? Oh, there you are. Yes.
The Palisades fire has had flare-ups last night, earlier this morning, and the threat to more homes, to more communities is very real. What do you tell these residents that are now finding themselves under evacuation orders?
Well, you know what? I think that the people in Palisades and in most of the areas have been doing everything they can. They've been responding to the evacuation orders. I think that is critical that they do that. We know that those people who stay behind might not be able to get out. And I think that it's important that people pay attention to that. The good news is that the fires have been slowly being contained. I know that the Palisades area is one of the ones that is the most vulnerable for the winds to continue to spike up. And it's anticipated that the winds will kick up again at the beginning of the week. So having National Guard there, having law enforcement there is going to be very critical, because not only do we have to protect ourselves from the fires, but we also have to make sure that no one goes up there and attempts to loot, attempts to do anything that is inappropriate in the areas. Well, they need to pay attention to what the orders are. You know, in some of the areas they've been told to evacuate. I know that west of the 405, people are supposed to evacuate. I know east of the 405, it's a warning. So I think people need to pay careful attention to what the instructions are. And please, please, please not try to wait out the fires.
Next question to David and Julia.
When Chief Crowley walked into your office yesterday, were you planning to fire her? Were you angry with her over her media appearance?
Oh, my goodness.
CNN and Fox? And do you agree with her that the fire department is very underfunded?
Let me just say that, as you see here, the chief and I are lockstep in our number one mission. And that mission is to get us past this emergency right now. We want to make sure that we save lives, we save housing, we save businesses, and if there are differences that we have, we will continue to deal with those in private. Thank you. No.
Next question, Julia.
Governor Newsom said in the interview yesterday that he wasn't getting straight answers from local leaders, and that he was, quote, "I was getting different answers, but I'm not getting the actual story," and that in reference to the investigation he's bringing on LAPD. What do you make of that?
First of all, I have no idea as to what he means when he says he's getting different answers from different people. But I have to tell you, I have a lot of concerns about every step of what has happened over the last week. Again, we have to stay focused on the number one mission, which is getting through this crisis, keeping people safe. Examining what happened, I want a full investigation of every level. So I'll follow up with the governor to find out exactly what he means, but I do not know.
Next question, Simon, and then Tom.
Yeah, this question is directed at both you, Madam Mayor, and Fire Chief Crowley.
Mhm.
The dynamic between you two today appears very different
Mhm.
than 20
Come,
hours
Stan.
ago.
Thank you. Yes,
Say that you're in lockstep.
yes.
How can Angelinos be sure that you two are on the same page when everyone is facing this historic and unprecedented crisis?
Well, I think, first of all, you have heard it directly from me. I'll give her an opportunity to repeat it again, that we have one mission, and that is going to be our sole focus. Now, prior to this, the chief and I have always been in regular communication, and we will continue to do that. Chief.
Thank you for that. I stand by my comments this morning, especially in this time of crisis. That number one priority with actually Chief McDonald, Madam Mayor, and myself are all on the same page. And I don't know how to overstate that at this point. That's why we're all here today, is to make sure that the community, the people that we serve, understand exactly where the three of us are. And I think I know we've clearly articulated that this morning. So thank you for the question.
Just one follow-up quickly. Are there enough resources for the city to answer the demands of this?
Well, let me just say that not only are there the resources and unlimited resources that the fire department, the police department need right now. We're not going to sit around and look at what we're going to spend on or not. If Chief McDonald calls me and tells me this is what he needs, if Chief Crowley calls me and tells me this is what we need, then that's what we'll do. But let me just also say that it's beyond Los Angeles. So the mutual aid component, I'm getting phone calls from all over the country, from people I served with in Congress who have now moved on to be governors. We have a number of different states, even Canada called. But that is what happens in natural disasters. I know the chief and I think it was just a couple of months ago, we had a number of firefighters go around the country. Firefighters go around the country all the time to assist in natural disasters, and that's exactly what is happening. Now, let me add on to that to say that President Biden, Vice President Harris, the state leaders, and obviously the governor, but also the head of the state Senate, the head of the state assembly, they have all been calling us off the hook. I did a press conference yesterday, a Zoom press conference, the governor and I did, with the president and the vice president, for the president to reiterate over and over again. The fact that we're getting 100% reimbursement from FEMA is not something that is usual. But it is something that the president agreed to. So I feel confident that whatever support is needed, we will have.
Have you heard at all from the incoming administration?
I have not heard from the incoming administration. However, I have reached out to some of my Republican colleagues. It is helpful that I served with many people who now will be going through confirmation, so I'm in touch with my colleagues.
Mayor, you mentioned Canada, but you also have resources coming in from around the world. We heard a group of firefighters coming in from Mexico on ground.
Great. I received a message from the mayor of Paris, who I got to know, obviously, last summer, extending her concern and condolences. So yes, Mexico, Canada, all of North America coming together to deal with a natural disaster in this area that we have never seen before.
Madam Mayor, in the days leading up to Tuesday's tragedy, it was being described as a potentially catastrophic and life-threatening event. Our history, as Angelino tells us, there are certain parts of the city that are more susceptible to the ravages of fire than others, the Palisades being one of them. We learned that by midday Wednesday, the 3 1-billion-gallon tanks that store water in the Palisades area have been overwhelmed by the massive size of this fire. And they were drained. My question is looking at preemption, were there any efforts made to bring in water tankers to stage them around the Palisades and other areas that have lots of foliage that have historically been fire hotspots? And piggybacking off of that, the mutual aid we're now getting from around the state and from around the nation, were there any efforts to preemptively bring in mutual aid for the worst case scenario, which has proven to be true? And if it hadn't, we all wish it had happened. If it hadn't happened, say thank you and we'll help you out down the road going forward.
It's my understanding that that's not the way mutual aid works. But again, there is a long list of issues that need to be examined, dissected, investigated, evaluated. And if there are people who need to be held accountable, they will be. Thank you.
One quick follow-up. We now have the National Guard.
Yes.
Another question about preemption. Were there any efforts to mobilize the National Guard preemptively just as an apparatus to be able to do massive evacuations
Again, it's my understanding that that is not the way it works. When I spoke to the governor on Wednesday, it was beginning that process. But because in an event like this, you don't exactly know what's going to happen, but you don't mobilize 1,000 National Guard or 200 National Guard just in case.
Can I respectfully ask why not? Is it better to have them somewhere staged in a military base, whatever, in case we need them, than have them come in 48 hours after?
Well, I can certainly share my experience at UCLA when we were having all the protests there. And the idea that we would have 200 police officers that were waiting around to go to a protest in UCLA, that's just not the way you mobilize troops. People are coming from all over the place. Well, you're talking 20, 30 years ago. I can't respond to that. Chief, would you?
Yeah. I mean, this is an unpredictable event. You have predictable wind coming. You don't know how the extent of that wind. You can't predict you're going to have a fire, and certainly nothing to this scale. Something like you mentioned the O.J. Simpson case. That's something that at that time, and I was there, it was predictable that...
Okay, you've been listening into a press conference with L.A. city officials, including the mayor, the police chief, and the fire chief. You're listening to the Q&A. Unfortunately, the reporter questions we couldn't hear on the microphone. We could only hear the answers, but a number of them seem to center around the situation between the mayor and the fire chief, because this comes amid some reporting that indicated some discord. You know, we had the fire chief on the record saying that her department was not properly funded. You had the mayor in a press conference saying reductions in their funding would not have impacted. There was a false report.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was... Check. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mayor Karen Bass, and she was giving quite a bit of information about what's going on here in the city of Los Angeles, and what we can expect about the fires and what was happening there, that kind of thing. So it seems like there's a lot of information that is flowing around about the fires and what we can do and what we cannot do. But the most important thing is to continue to go to reputable websites and reputable news organizations like KTLA to find out what is the best information and how to stay safe. Real quickly, I just wanted to share with you what I found on what the Santa Monica Fire Department is saying as far as the evacuation orders that are in effect in our area here on the west side. An evacuation order remains in effect for all areas of Santa Monica north of San Vicente. Residents should continue to stay out of the area, which remains closed to public access and residential reentry. All areas of Santa Monica north of Montana to San Vicente Boulevard are now under an evacuation warning. Residents can repopulate this area, but should still be prepared to leave if needed. Those who require additional time to evacuate should consider staying away. The evacuation warning between Montana Avenue and Wilshire Boulevard has been lifted. So, you can visit www.santamonica.gov/news for more up-to-date information about the evacuations in our area in Santa Monica. According to the White House, there is not a press conference currently scheduled today, Saturday, January 11th, for President Biden or Vice President Harris. We do know that the fires seem to be moving towards the Brentwood area, where it is, I believe, Vice President Harris has her house in the Brentwood area. So let's see what happens there. Hopefully her place is safe. Okay. So real quick, I'm just going to update you on what's happened, what the Santa Monica Police and Fire Department issued yesterday. There was a correction. Santa Monica residents under LADWP do not drink notice above San Vicente Boulevard on Woodacres Road, Esparta Way, and Emont Plaza remained under mandatory evacuation as per the evacuation map. And you can find that on santamonica.gov/press. It was previously stated that the streets under the do not drink notice were under a voluntary evacuation warning. So here's what the latest information is. Stand by one second. Let me make sure that I'm not missing anything that I could possibly bring you. Stand by. Stand by, and here's what we're doing. Not missing anything there. Newsroom. Okay, so there's still just a lot. You know, the usual news stations are covering, you know, President Trump, incoming President Trump, and TikTok, and things like that. For us here on the West Side, we just really care, to be honest with you, about what's going on in our neighborhood and what's happening with us. So, as I was saying, the city of Santa Monica yesterday announced updates to the Palisades fire evacuation zones within the city borders. Mandatory evacuation order. All areas of the city north of San Vicente Boulevard, evacuation. Warning, all areas of the city north of Montana to San Vicente Boulevard. Evacuation lifted. All areas between Wilshire Boulevard and Montana Avenue. That includes California, Washington, and those streets like that. Okay. So yesterday I was in the Malibu area, and I was in the Sunset Boulevard area, and I was in the Palisades, and I got to tell you, it was I've never seen it before, anything like that. How bad it was, how horrible it was. It was absolutely horrible. How bad it was absolutely horrible. I'd never seen anything like it. So I have some video here, and I'm going to try and put that in to the system to show you what it is. And again, this is just a one-man band. I'm one single person trying to do this by myself. I don't have any financial, I'm not making any money off of this. I'm doing this as a community service to the people in Pacific Palisades, the people in Santa Monica, and the people in Brentwood. To my community is what I'm doing. So I'm not making any money off of it. I wish I was making money off of it, but I'm not making money off of it at the moment. So let me try to put this video in. And in the meantime, let me try to read something here. Let me try to put that video in. Bear with me just 1 second as I move in. And I'll show you all the video. And this is the first time that I've opened this video up myself when I was there. You know, I just have to tell you that yesterday, you know, you drive down what's called the California Incline. And that's at Ocean in California. And typically when you drive down the California Incline, you know, you can see the Pacific Ocean there. And it's a very picturesque type of place. And as you go down the California Incline and you look, it drops you out on PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, and you look north, you can see the Pacific Palisades, you can see Malibu as it stretches off around there. And it is a very stereotypical type of image that you would see, and many people would relate that image to a California dreaming. And as I drove up into Malibu and to the Pacific Palisades, there was just so much stuff. It literally looked like a war zone, and it's very difficult to describe to someone, you know, what I saw. As it's incredibly difficult to describe. So probably the best thing to do. The best things to share would be just the videos that I took and let them speak for themselves. Again, video is a little bit rough, and but that is the way it is. Okay, so stand by. Let me show you this video. It's only 22 seconds long, and let me tell me what you think about the video. Okay, stand by.
Things are developed and how people are living in this area so close to nature and so close to wildfire prone areas that these circumstances are inevitable. So one, make sure that you're contacting and making sure that you understand what you can do to recover now from insurance. But I think the big wake-up call here, and unfortunately we see this a lot in the industry, it takes a very large catastrophic event to do this, is we need to understand how the state of California is going to prepare itself to become more resilient. Because how we've been living, how we've been even having an insurance market in this state in many ways needs to change. And we have seen some circumstances where the policymaking.
Okay, stand by. Here we go. We're going to play that video for you right now.
Is wanting to get that change made and make sure that the market can be more sustainable. We really need to focus on that for the future. But again, those that are insured and have insurance policies, they will be covered, even if it's with the government-sponsored program, the FAIR program. All of that is in place. This industry is designed to make sure that promises are kept.
And folks, if you have insurance, you need to start making those phone calls now to your carriers. If you don't have insurance, or perhaps you're underinsured, reach out to the state support as well as FEMA support. There is immediate monies being made available for your hotel, for your food, for your baby's diapers, things like that. But you got to take the initiative to make those phone calls. And we just heard in that press conference some of the
Okay, so that was the first video, and you can see that it's pretty rough. Again, I'm just a single one-man band performing this, doing all of this work, trying to get it all up and running for you, my people. Okay, so let me continue with some of my video here that I took yesterday as I was in Pacific Palisades and the Malibu area. So stand by 1 second. Let me see if I can bring that up for you. And again, if there are any audio issues or video issues that you're experiencing, and the quality is a bit rough, but please forgive me. So here we go, stand by. I'm just going to play these one by one. So I'm driving on So I'm driving on PCH northbound, just went down the California Incline in Santa Monica at Ocean and California. I'm on PCH, approaching Will Rogers, almost to Chautauqua. And as you can see, PCH is empty. There's nobody here. The ash is coming down. It's almost like a very soft snow flurry. It's quiet. There's some cyclists out. Everyone is wearing a mask. Not really sure what they're doing. Off in the distance, you can see smoke rising beyond the mountaintops. It's strange. It's quiet. It's weird. We've all spent so much time here in this area playing beach volleyball right there. at Will Rogers, or right there, there's a restaurant that I helped at Entrada. There's a restaurant that I helped rebuild. Right here on Choctagua, there's a new restaurant that a guy has redone. He just rebuilt it. There are people waiting to get into their houses. Here we are, Santa Monica. My God, Malibu looks like it's burning. Horrible. So that's just another video. Let me cue that up. As you can see, the what is typically a very busy road, this was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:20 in the afternoon that I was doing this. And, you know, what is usually a very busy road in Santa Monica and in Pacific Palisades, at 3 o'clock on a Friday, it's going to be bumper to bumper. People are trying to get home to Malibu, or if you spent the day in Malibu, or even in Ventura, you're trying to get back down to Los Angeles, or there are just a lot of sightseers and tourists in the area. And to see the desolation and an empty road, the empty PCH at that time of the afternoon was, how do I say, it was very reminiscent of the early days of COVID-19, when the entire street, all of the streets were empty. Nobody was out on the streets. It was desolate, it was lonely, and it's very similar to that. So let me find the next video here, and I'll cue that up real quick. This is just a 28-second long piece, and it's not too much, but let's see how it works out. And stand by and let me roll that for you. That must be a command center right there. Got satellite trucks, emergency command post, satellite trucks, command trucks, fire trucks. Everybody's got the satellite uplinks. Horrible. Malibu is burning. Okay, so that was just the most recent video. Let me cue up the next one. And again, I'm going to keep doing this little by little. And I know it's probably boring and it's not really interesting and it doesn't look very professional. But, you know, hey, that's where we are right now. And that's what I'm doing. So that's just the way it's going to be. All right, so here's another video. Apologies in advance for how it looks, but it's one person probably not doing the safest thing driving down PCH, but as you can see, I was being very careful and taking a video in one hand, driving down the other hand. Luckily, I'm the kind of person that grew up knowing how to drive a stick shift in the winter, in the snow, so I'm able to use both of my hands as a driver, something, a skill that more than likely people are going to lose in the next 6 months, year, 5 years. Most people won't know how to do that. Here we go. People are skating. Everybody's Department of Water and Power are here. People are on there. There's the National Guard. The National Guard has come out. They're here in force. They want to stop the looters from doing whatever they do. Water trucks because the water power, iron response. Water trucks because the water power is so low. Yeah, that's one of the big things that people were complaining about. The water pressure in the Pacific Palisades was very, very low. You know, I think there are still people up in the Pacific Palisades who, I don't want to misspeak, but I think there are still people up in the Pacific Palisades who have to have water brought in, as well as they have septic tanks. I don't think everybody is on city water and up there, city water and city septic up there. I could be wrong, but I think that is somewhat true. So here's another video that I took, and this one is a little longer. Again, apologies for whatever, how rough it is, and you know, all that stuff. Stand by. Well, that was not a very long one, so let me see. And again, this is the first time that I'm going through these videos, trying to share with you everything that I have. Okay, so stand by 1 second. This is a video that I took as I went down the incline, as I mentioned, up the PCH north, got to Temescal Canyon. Temescal Canyon is it's a street that allows you to travel from PCH up to Sunset Boulevard, and it drops you off as you drive up Temescal. You go through you see Pali High School, and Pali High School is a beautiful high school. It's nestled in a canyon, and there were many times that I played soccer up there myself, and my kids played soccer up there, and they participated in some band competitions, and there are just a lot of good people up there, and it's not far from Santa Monica, so all the kids know one another, and everybody knows one another, and it's a good thing. It's a horrible tragedy that's happened there. So let me play you this. How do you describe it? So this is Temescal Canyon from PCH, and typically if you would drive up this road, you would see the mountains would be, you would see, you'd see green on the mountains. You would see, this is it's beyond words to describe. There's Pali High. Pali High has still got some things there. Oh my God, it's just fucking wrecked. Yeah, sorry for the expletive right there, but that is just the way it is. As you can see, some of Pali High is still saved. I'm sure there's a lot of smoke damage in that area, in the high school, so I don't believe that they're going to be going to school there anytime soon. It's a horrible, horrible thing, but let me cue up the next video, and I'll just kind of run through these videos without giving too much commentary. It's another short video. Let me try to find something that's a little bit longer. And as I do this a little bit more, I'm sure I'll be able to give you a better workflow as I go through this. So stand by. This is a little more video that was taken on Sunset Boulevard, and the video speaks for itself. So here we go. So here we are at on Sunset Boulevard. You can see that the firefighters are still out there doing their work. It's horrible what's happened here. This house, this apartment complex is totally demolished. There's still fire burning there. Oh my fucking God. 1662. Here we are at 16162 Sunset Boulevard. The fire has raged through this area and burnt this house, which was once a beautiful house. The destruction is horrendous. The firefighters are doing their best to control everything and to fight the fire. The firefighters up there on Sunset Boulevard and across Southern California in all of the different fires areas are doing a fantastic job. And they've come from all across the California, Northern California, Berkeley, San Francisco, San Diego down in the south. And from what I understand, there are even some crews from Arizona that have come. And according to the press conference, there are more and more crews that are coming because this fire has devastated. When you think about the economy of California, and especially Southern California, I mean, the economy of California is bigger than some countries. I mean, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, but I think it's the 5th biggest economy in the world, just the economy of California alone. So there's the human factor, and we have lost, I think it's up to approximately 10 people in these fires. And even one person, the loss of one person's life is too much. But the economic impact that California and the world and the United States is going to feel from these fires is going to echo very long throughout the next several years. I mean, if we stop and think about how many people and how many companies have not been able to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, I mean, it really has still taken a long time for some companies to recover. And some companies didn't recover. They made it through the pandemic, and they had to shut their doors afterwards, a year or two a year afterwards. And these fires are going to have huge repercussions that are going to be felt for years to come. Stand by for another video. You can see behind me that a car has burnt to a crisp. It's just out here on the road. We're at Las Lomas and Alcama. And this car it's just been burnt to a crisp by the fire. But behind it, you can see that the house is almost untouched. But the car is burnt to a crisp. The firefighters are doing their best that they can to fight the fires. And just all around, you can see the destruction. It's just horrible. Yeah. No words can really describe how that is and what that is. And it's hard to even fathom. If you've never experienced or seen anything like that, it's hard to even imagine the destruction. And our hearts go out to all the people within the community who have experienced those horrible things. So, yeah, here we go. So as you're driving in that area, as part of a precaution, the police, the fire department, and the National Guard ask each person who's credentialed or approved to be in the area when they're driving their car to have their hazard lights on, in order to signify that you're being careful, you're not part of the emergency response team, and they just really want you to be careful up there. So here's a little bit more video. As you can see, the guy was driving his bike up there. He was riding his bike, and he, I didn't stop him. I didn't want to stop him, but one can imagine that he was a local, and he was riding his bike to go and see what was left of his house, and to see if there was anything salvageable. And hopefully there is, and hopefully he's going to be okay. But one never knows, what is going on there. And supposedly there's going to be a huge mental health crisis that is associated with this and what's going on. And when you stop and think about a community being devastated, it's easy to imagine that there will be a humanitarian health crisis that goes on with the victims of the Palisades and the Eaton fires and the Altadena fires and all the other fires that are associated currently with the fires in Southern California. And one can imagine that, considering the political climate that we're going to be moving into, we hope that the next presidential group, that they're going to be understanding and that they're going to be helpful, rather than cause division that they did during the first 4 years. Stand by, here's another video. Here I am standing in the middle of Sunset Boulevard. Sunset Boulevard it's famous, everybody knows it. There have been movies made about it. I drive here all the time when it's my neighborhood. I live in Santa Monica, so we drive here all the time. We go to the beach, we go to the parks, we go to the mountains. And just look at all of this destruction. All of this destruction. It's absolutely horrible. This house is totally, utterly demolished. The water is spilling out. And you can just see beyond, up into the area. The house has been cars have been just disaster zone. Who knows what it's about? Here I am standing in the middle. Thanks, guys, for bearing with me during that technical glitch. We had a little bit of a little issue there. So we're nearing up the end of the video coverage that I have. And as I move up into Malibu, you can see that there's been quite a bit of damage. And this is just a quick video that was taken. I believe it's there's an area that is, Topanga Canyon and Topanga State Beach. Beautiful area, a lot of good memories of the beach area up there. And Topanga kind of has a reputation in Southern California as being a very accepting, very liberal, very communal, almost like a Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco type of hippie community. When you think of Topanga Canyon, you also it's kind of synonymous with Crescent Heights in that area, or Laurel Canyon. Laurel Canyon's kind of like hippie and very liberal and very mamas and papas type of thing. And Topanga Canyon has been affected horribly by these fires. So let me just play you a video of an area close to Topanga where a hotel once stood, and you can see for yourself what is left. It's almost like it is very difficult to describe what it is and what you're seeing, because the fire has ravaged the mountainsides so thoroughly that it feels like it's almost changed the landscape. You know, it has changed the landscape, not just taken away the trees and the shrubbery and the foliage, but it seems like the actual sides of the mountain have been impacted as well, and they have changed structurally, and there seems to be a lot of like big parts of the mountainside that have fallen. It's really, really horrible. So here we go. One last, well, not one last one, we got a couple more. Here we go. We'll have a look at it real quick. And thanks for your patience. Here we are on, we're coming into Malibu. We just passed Topanga Canyon. And typically on a Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, this would be a busy street. PCH would be busy, and you can see all these houses. Once upon a time, there were houses that lined the coast here, and it was prime real estate, and nothing, beautiful houses. Once upon a time, they were just beautiful houses. But nowadays, after Tuesday, it's nothing. It's gone, demolished, completely, utterly demolished. It's beyond words how bad this is. Beyond words. Beyond words. You can see that the construction workers and the emergency relief workers are doing their best to take down the power lines or make sure that the power lines don't cause further devastation. There still are some structures along PCH and in the Palisades and in Malibu that are still standing, and there is still a huge risk of fire and damage to life and property. But, you know, hats off, mazel tov, God bless, best wishes, and thanks for everything for all of the emergency workers that are doing their best to keep us all safe and happy, you know, to keep us all safe. Here's another quick video. That was just a brief video. you can see that the mountainside there has been impacted. Usually when you'd look up there, there would be palm trees, there'd be other kind of greenery up there, but now it's just dirt. And the big concern, as it's January 11th, the big concern is that at the end of this month, or next month, or in March, we typically have heavy rains here in Southern California. And if the rains are anything like what they were last year, where it rained for, 10 days straight, and we had an incredible yearly amount of rainfall within that short duration of time, we could see mudslides again. And in fact, there were mudslides up there last year in the Malibu area. But this time it could be huge, monumental mudslides that could affect PCH all the way from northern Santa Monica to Malibu. And really, if you drive into Malibu, there's only really three or four ways in: northbound on PCH, southbound on PCH, or you could cut through the Canaan Dune Canyon, and I believe there's also a Malibu Canyon. There might even be a way in through Mulholland, but I'm sure Mulholland has suffered quite a bit of destruction due to the fire, and probably Canaan, if it hasn't already suffered destruction, it's potentially going to. So there's not a lot of excuse me, there's a lot of dust in the air. So pardon me. Let me cue up another video real quick for you. How can you explain it? You know, once upon a time you would drive on Sunset Boulevard to PCH, and PCH from Malibu down to Santa Monica, it would just be a beautiful ride. It's a fabled ride, you know. It's a fabled drive. Houses on the beach. It was a California dream. And now look at it, it's shattered. Behind me you have houses that are just nothing but hulking shadows of what they once were. Burned out shells of family dreams and family hopes and hard work and effort, California dreaming. Maybe the dream is over, but perhaps not. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't think it is, but we'll see. I think people will rise to the challenge. They'll rise, they'll try and do something better, and they'll try and regroup, rebirth, rebuild. Can't keep people down. So you can see that the sun was starting to set in Malibu as I wrapped up that last segment. And, you know, how is it described? There are power lines on the ground. You know, they are not live. They were not live. Just total destruction. This morning when I woke up, and before I came into the studio, there was ash on the ground, and it seemed like, you know, growing up in the Midwest, you know, I'm very familiar with snow and things like that, and it seemed like the ash was like the beginning of a snowstorm, you know, where it flurries, and there are big flakes of snow on the ground, and it's starting to stick. You know what I mean? That's the way it is out here on the West Coast right now. So here's a final couple videos, and let's see how they go. Stand by 1 second. Yeah, you can see that the mountains up there, the side of the road is the concrete itself that holds the embankment in seems to be melted. And, you know, how is a community going to come back from that? I think they will. I think we will. I think people are always going to be able to come back from stuff like that. But let's see this last video here. Stand by. So you can see that that's a pretty intense video there, and there's a lot more news to be covered, and it still is a breaking story, and we will do our best. I will do my best to bring you as much news as I can about this fire and about everything that continues to go on. But right now, let me try and see if there is anything happening on the local media that could possibly be important for you. Okay, stand by 1 second, and I'll be right back. Well, let me just find something for you. Again, this is just one person doing all this. Try to set up everything for you as much as I can. It has been pretty challenging. So
this Friday,
stand by 1 second. This is a little video that was posted earlier on YouTube. So I believe it should be
this
free to
portable
air, maybe.
warm air blaster.
We'll have to see, but it should be. It's posted on the internet, so if it's posted on the internet, hey, I believe it's okay to use, right? They really don't care. Stand by.
Way to the 405 as these winds just continue to push flames towards homes. Welcome to this special edition of the Fox 11 Weekend News. I'm Brooke Thomas.
I'm Bob DeCastro. We are covering, continuing coverage this morning of the multiple fires that continue to burn all across Southern California this morning. The largest is the deadly Palisades fire. There's also the Eaton fire, of course, in Altadena, that also was fatal, following by the Hearst fire, the Kenneth fire, and the Archer fire. The good news there is that progress has been slowed.
The Palisades fire continues to expand this morning with only 11% containment. Sadly, 5 people have lost their lives, but even sadder, the death toll will likely be higher. 21,596 acres.
Real quick, what I wanted to read to you is the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District alert that went out yesterday, at about 5:15 in the afternoon. And this is from the Santa Monica Malibu School District, and it's Dr. Antonio Shelton. He's the superintendent over there, and here's what he had to say directly to the parents. Dear parents, guardians, staff, students, and community members, during this time of stress and trauma, we are seeing some of the best in human kindness and goodness. So many of our parents and staff have reached out wanting to help in any way they can with our families and staff who have lost their homes, are displaced, or still evacuated. This has been very heartwarming to see and makes dealing with this immense disaster a bit more palatable. Our hearts are with you all right now. Our food services team and others have been providing grab-and-go meals to our students at several school sites. So what happened is that the city of Santa Monica Malibu offers grab-and-go meals to some of the students who are unable to afford or who have experienced food scarcity at their home. It's a good community. It's a wonderful thing that they can do. And, you know, the district and the community are lucky that they have the financial wherewithal to be able to help those who momentarily need the help. Dr. Shelton continues, school for Monday, January 13th, 2025. We know you are anxious to know about school reopening. This is what we know today, and this is as of yesterday. Malibu schools will be closed Monday, January 13th, 2025. Air quality, road access, evacuation orders are still a fire threat are the reasons for this decision. As you can see from the videos I just played you, there's no way that those kids can drive themselves to school. The buses can't run up and down PCH or in those canyons when there is still fire. So it makes sense that and half of the people are, many of the people are evacuated. They don't even have homes to go to anymore, so it just doesn't make sense. This meets our criteria we have mentioned in letters this week to close the schools. Santa Monica schools will be announced on Sunday by 5:30 p.m. So on 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, there will be an announcement that goes out from Dr. Shelton's office saying that school will or will not be held the following week. Unfortunately, the situation is still too fluid in Santa Monica right now to make the decision. We are monitoring all conditions, and based on our criteria, we'll announce the decision to open the schools or not open the schools on Sunday. School options for displaced children. These are the children who have had to evacuate their homes, or who have left their home for whatever reason associated with this terrible tragedy. We understand that some Palisades families may have lost their homeschool for their students, as both Marquez Charter Elementary and Palisades Charter Elementary School unfortunately burned down. We know that this is traumatic for children, on top of many losing their homes as well. We are in communication with the Los Angeles Unified School District, LAUSD, and have learned that students from those two schools will be relocated to Brentwood Elementary School. We support this adjustment by LAUSD to keep teachers and students together to have the continuity of learning, as well as social emotional support and resources along with their classmates and friends. Following this disaster, LAUSD will be reaching out to families with information and instructions soon. In the meantime, you may contact Dr. Deborah Bryant, LAUSD Administrative Operations at Local District West, and the email for that person is lrc2860@lausd.net. There are a few scenarios where a displaced family may qualify for enrollment in a SMMUSD, Santa Monica Malibu School District school, as a student experiencing homelessness. This is called the McKinney-Vento Act. Families may contact SMMUSD Director of Student Services, Dr. Francisco Dussin, and his email address is fdussan@smmUSD.org, or you can call 310-450-8338, extension 70208, to discuss on a case-by-case basis the opportunity of going to an SMMUSD school under the qualification that you are now homeless. Placement will be based on space availability and staffing. More information is available online at, this is the long email address, https://www.smmUSD.org/page/6779. Dr. Shelton sums it up by saying, we continue to hold all of our families and staff in our thoughts and prayers during this stressful time in our communities. The uncertainty is impacting all of us, your Board of Education, and I continue to have the best interests of students in mind as we navigate this disaster together. Thank you very much, Dr. Shelton. So let me go back to that the video that was posted on YouTube recently, and I'll be back with you in a moment.
With more than 5,000 homes destroyed, 12,000 structures are threatened. Firefighters are struggling really to hold the line.
Yeah, in fact, new this morning, overnight, new evacuation orders extending far east as Sepulveda and the 405. People in the fire's path are being told to evacuate, and those areas include Brentwood, Bel Air, and parts of Encino, Sherman Oaks, and Tarzana. VA residents in West LA have now been evacuated, and UCLA students are on high alert, told to be ready to leave.
2 evacuation shelters have opened for the Palisades fire. The first is Stoner Recreation Center. That's on 1835 Stoner Avenue. We have that address on your screen one more time, 1835 Stoner Avenue. The second is at Calvary Community Church in Westlake Village.
Well, as those fire lines spread across ridgetops and valleys, nerves are on edge this morning in the San Fernando Valley.
And more than 100,000 people, get that, 100,000 people are under evacuation orders. And overnight, evacuation orders now cover new areas. Let's go out to Gigi Graciet live in an evacuation zone, a new one in Bel Air with the latest. Gigi.
I can tell you it was an extremely long night, a long and stressful night for the folks of the San Fernando Valley as they watched this. Take a look at the Palisades fire. We've gotten a lot of questions from folks in the valley if this was a new fire. This is the same fire that started on the other side of the hill, on the other side of San Fernando Valley. It is raging right now. You can see that thick gray smoke mixed in with very heavy black smoke. That black smoke indicates it has just hit a fresh pocket of fuel, and there is plenty to burn, plenty of vegetation. The weather is very cold and the wind is not high, which is a saving grace. Now, let's go to the video that we shot for you last night as the fire absolutely raged. This is the view from the San Fernando Valley. This is what residents saw last night as mandatory evacuation orders were issued, and folks in the Encino neighborhood south of Ventura Boulevard rushed to get out of their homes. The hills above Sherman Oaks, Encino, and Tarzana lit up with fire as that Palisades fire made its way to the ridge and began threatening homes on the other side again of Pacific Palisades. The aerial firefight we saw was intense. At one point, LA City Fire and assisting agencies had 10 water-dropping choppers and planes in the air, putting everything they had on this fire to stop it from moving into yet another densely packed residential area. Evacuation orders again were immediately issued, forcing thousands of people from their home. We saw them coming down Havenhurst, down Balboa, getting out of the area. Many of those folks this morning, including friends of ours, are staying in hotels and with family members. Evacuation centers have also been opened in the San Fernando Fernando Valley as the fire continues to spread. Now take a look at the Pacific Palisades side of the fire. Mandeville Canyon, the fire there also continuing to rage. And with only 11% containment this morning, this firefight is far from over. Now, yesterday, the folks who live in the hills in Encino, above, south of Ventura Boulevard, Encino Hills, Havenhurst, all of those streets right there, they had the fire burning right there on the ridge. But I want you to look at these pictures sent to us from Van Nuys. Hold on one second. Take a look at those pictures sent to us from Van Nuys. This had folks 5 and 8 miles away from the actual ridge of the fire, worried that they too would have to evacuate. And a lot of folks in the San Fernando Valley have already been on edge. And one of the reasons is because of all those erroneous evacuation alerts they received. And yesterday, when they saw what we're looking at in those pictures right now, they worried they were going to have to get out, even though they were at least 8 miles from the ridge of the fire. Let's bring it back here live. Photographer Armando Hernandez giving you a shot of what the fire is doing right now. We have the evacuation orders on our website, foxla.com. Bob and Brooke, of course, will be refreshing you with the areas that are under a mandatory evacuation order. And I'm going to ask photographer Armando Hernandez to follow me over here because I want to show you this strike team through Brentwood, Bel Air, and Encino this morning. Firefighters are stationed for structure and home protection. This strike team is from Utah, Salt Lake City, Woodland Hills, Utah, Moab. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, I hope. Thank you. I went up to all the firefighters, all the individual agencies here, and just thank them on behalf of the folks and the residents of Los Angeles for being here. They've been here all night long, and they're not going anywhere. They'll be relieved a little bit later. And all morning long, we have seen fire agencies from other states. We've got Arizona, we've got Nevada, we've got Utah behind me, all of them here to help us in this major crisis. We're going to have more on weather, but I want to tell you, we're going to go into a weather watch tonight, Saturday night. And there is a lot of concern, of course, about what we're seeing. I'm going to ask Armando just to leave you with this live shot because the smoke is intense and this is visible from throughout the San Fernando Valley. Bob and Brooke, I'm going to send it back to you.
And Gigi, it is wild, the idea that, people are able to see this right from their homes.
Yeah, incredible pictures to look at this morning, Gigi, Armando, and yeah, especially when you figure the winds were dying down yesterday, and we were going to turn a corner here, so very jarring to see this morning. And of course, Maria will be telling us a little bit more about the winds and the situation, because we do expect those winds to pick up sometime tonight. Gigi, thank you.
Let's stay on this fire here, though, and bring in Stu Mundell and Sky Fox over the Palisades fire. Stu.
Hey, Brooke and Bobby, good morning. Let's take a look at what that fire is doing right now. It has been pretty dramatic, a little bit of a wind change and a big problem for some folks in the Brentwood area. I'm going to give you a little tour of what's going on and the cities and what Gigi was just talking about as well. This is where that fire is headed right now. This is going to be the Brentwood area. That's going to be West Ridge Road that we're seeing right there. I'll bring up the map if you think we should do that. But take a look at all that reinforcement down there. Those are all firefighters. That's all going to be, they've just moved all those fire trucks into this area right there because they need structure protection, because those flames are definitely heading this way. That smoke you're seeing bellowing over there, that is new. And
strong. We are strong, especially when, as now, we stand united. We will get through this. LA will get through this together, and we will rebuild and we will heal. California DOJ is here, ready, willing, able to support Angelenos and local law enforcement and local officials in any and every way we can. We are at your service. I will come back at the end to answer questions if there are any, but for now, please allow me to welcome Supervisor Horvath to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Thank you for your strong leadership.
So we're going to be monitoring this press conference here. Sorry, I'm just taking my mask off as it continues. You heard the Attorney General there talking about looting. It's been a very real concern in areas like this, and you may say it doesn't look like there's much to loot. Things have been obviously burnt to the ground, but there are some homes standing, and then there are areas that are evacuated or that people have chosen to leave because the fire seems so close that there's been concern about looting as they talk about that. Also, he talked about already, even as these fires are looming, the concern about rent increases. I was talking to someone who is a refugee from this fire, their family. They've just been unable to even get a rental. And the prices have just gone up so astronomically that they aren't even able to afford it. And that situation is happening again and again and again. It's an issue of cost. It's also
So that's
an issue of
video
what's even available
that
in an
has
area
been
is so
coming
short
to you
of
live
housing.
from
So these are very real concerns right now that he's
TMX,
talking about as people
and
are dealing with the
you've got some
gut
other
trauma
video
punch
bleeding
of
in. I
what
can
they're
hear it
going
coming through.
Also, when he talks
and
about
it shouldn't
just
be
take
there.
what you can take,
And
I will say
guess
one
who
other
it is?
thing.
It's our friends over at CNN bleeding in. But real quick, I'll just play this video for you again. It's coming from you. It's live. It was recorded a couple days ago, and I'm crediting at Kyle Zink /TMX. Okay, stand by. So you can see that video. What it is about is that there are power lines running through the trees, and sparks are flashing and coming off of the power lines into the trees. You can see the dust and the ash blowing through the air as that person videotaped it. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, sometimes it's really horrible. This is another video coming to you, and we are going to credit, it was shot on January 10th at Stephen Garza Joke -TMX. And this video looks like it was taken from the Bluff in Santa Monica, near the California incline. And stand by, look at this video, and this is video that basically is the same as where I was at yesterday. Stand by. So that video, you saw that. Here, that was from the Bluff in Santa Monica. You can see the camera was looking, the citizen journalist was looking north towards the Palisades, towards Malibu, and you could see the fire ripping through the area and smoke in the air, and super horrible. So this is the Kenneth fire. This is the Kenneth Fire, another fire here in Southern California that was blowing through the area. And this video is from the Ventura County Fire Department. Okay, so this is a video from the Ventura County Fire Department. And the heading of the video says that Kenneth Fire fought by Ventura County Fire Department at 0% contained. So the Kenneth Fire, as of yesterday, was 0% contained. I think today, the Pacific Palisades Fire is approximately at 11% contained. That's pretty horrible. Not a lot. Stand by. Let me look at you with this. Let me allow you to look at this video. So that's pretty dramatic. You can see that the helicopter sweeps in, drops its load of water, and the fire is put out. If only it were so easy every single time, that would be awesome. And we wouldn't have this terrible fires across Southern California that we've been experiencing. As I queue up another video, I'm asking you to stand by. This is a video that it was posted on January 8th. It's called "The Los Angeles is Burning," and it was approximately last night at 10 a.m. It's a startup, the wildfire, and spread to different parts of the city with the help of the wind. It's visible from my rooftop. This is the synopsis that the person put in the video. Just standing with faded up mindset. Los Angeles, burning, fire. These are all the hashtags. California, USA, Hollywood Hills. So this is a video of the Hollywood Hills burning, and the citizen journalist that it's credited is at the, I'm going to spell this for you, at TheAfnAnIYAD, and it's brought to us by TMX. That's pretty dramatic video. As you can see, the fire is cresting over the hills, which it could be, maybe it's a hill that's close to Outpost, or it's looking over towards Laurel Canyon Boulevard, which is like the Crescent Heights area. But whatever it is, it's pretty dramatic video. And you can see that the fire is encompassing all the way from Malibu, Palisades, Brentwood. Now I believe the fire has spread all the way over to the 405, and it's now possibly threatening Kentner, Mandeville Canyon, and it may have jumped over the 405 into Bel Air. And if it hits Bel Air is adjacent to UCLA, and if you can see where this could go, right? How this could be horrible. UCLA, Bel Air is adjacent to Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills is adjacent to West Hollywood. West Hollywood leads you to Hollywood, right? So this whole area in the Santa Monica Mountains all the way to the Griffith Observatory east to Pasadena, Altadena could be burning. This is pretty horrible. So here's a video from a citizen journalist that was posted up on January 9th, and the credit goes to Alert California / UC San Diego. Okay, so stand by 1 second. Let me cue this up for you. And, oh no, that's not a video. Sorry, that is just a photo. It's a pretty dramatic photo, but nonetheless, it's just a photo. This is something from the Runyon Canyon area in Hollywood, and it's pretty dramatic. Runyon Canyon leads up into the Hollywood Hills. There's what many people consider the old Errol Flynn estates up there, and it looks out. If you go up to Runyon Canyon from Hollywood Boulevard, or if you look at it from Fountain, Santa Monica, Fountain, Sunset, Hollywood maybe, and then it leads up into the hills. But there's an area back there people hike. A lot of Hollywood people who live in the Hollywood area, downtown Hollywood or West Hollywood, they go up into the canyons, and they access via Runyon Canyon, and it's the old Errol Flynn Estates, is what we consider. And you can look out over Hollywood. Anybody who's ever lived in Hollywood has gone up there. And this is going to be a dramatic video. I haven't seen it as of yet, but let me play it for you.
Oh my God. Runyon Canyon is on fire. Runyon Canyon is on fire. This has happened in the last 20 minutes, and as you can see, it's already pretty big. There's ash everywhere. This is right up against West Hollywood, the Sunset Strip, and the Hollywood Hills. And it is just a wall of flames. I've never seen Los Angeles like this in my life. Oh my God. This is insane.
Yeah, you can see that it's pretty intense. And again, that video was by Michael Schneider, Streets for All. Michael Schneider, Streets for All. Thank you for that video on TMX. Appreciate that. As we continue to look for some video, this is going to be video that is brought to you and credited with the help of @CalTransDist7. Oh, these are just pictures, rather. So we're actually looking for video. Sorry about that. Stand by. So this is video of the fire here in the Palisades, and it's Palisades. The video is titled Palisades Fire Fought by Ventura County Fire Department in Los Angeles County, California. Firefighters are working around the clock to protect exposures and suppress fire throughout the area. It was uploaded on January 9th, 2025. and the credit goes to Ventura County Fire Department /TMX. Okay, so stand by 1 second. Let me play that for you. Pretty intense video. You can see the firefighters from Ventura doing their best to combat the fires in the Palisades. We really appreciate that. We appreciate any fire departments or emergency people who have come to the aid of the people in Southern California. Ventura is Southern California. It's a little north of where we are, but it is greatly appreciated, and anything that anybody can do is wonderful. We really appreciate it. So this is, let's see what we got here. This is a video, again, from Santa Monica, and it is Pacific Palisades Fire from Santa Monica, and the credit goes to Steven Garza at StevenGarzaJoke.com, or that's Steven Garza Joke. TMX. Let's hope that it's not a joke, Stephen, and that we're taking all this very serious. Thanks. So it doesn't look like a joke. Thanks a lot, Stephen, for that video. It looks great. Great video of an unfortunate situation, that's for sure. You can see that the fire and the smoke especially, is drifting out over Pacific Palisades as it heads south towards Santa Monica, west towards the ocean, and drifting out toward the ocean, and it's probably being blown north towards Malibu and Ventura. So it's pretty horrible. Here's a little bit of a video. Let's see if this is video, and it was taken approximately 18 hours ago, and it's by @InselWizard14, courtesy of TMX, and the title of the video is Palisades Fire, Wind Appears to Affect Retardant Dropped by Air Tanker. Oh my God, the wind. And this is shot from Brentwood, California. Again, Palisades, Brentwood, Santa Monica, all in the same area. Palisades, Brentwood, Santa Monica, Malibu, all in the same area.
That's a spotter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep, he's dropping the spot smoke. So that's where the guy's going. There he is. There he is. Yeah, look, there you go. Spotter. Here he comes. Jesus.
Oh my God, the wind.
Look at the wind taking.
So that's interesting, right? You can see that the wind takes the retardant as it's dropped out of the plane, and because the plane has to stay so high and the wind is blowing so strong underneath the plane and below, that it takes the retardant. And the question has to be asked, while some of it, the retardant, hits the fire, how much of that retardant actually goes to a different location that was not intended? But the whole thing is on fire, so it's going to do a good job. Let's have another look at that video really quickly.
That's a spotter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep, he's dropping the spot smoke. So that's where the guy's going. There he is. There he is. Yeah, look, there you go. Spotter. Here he comes. Jesus.
Oh my God, the wind.
Look at the wind taking.
So you can see that the wind really took that retardant, and we have to question what it did, how effective it was. But you know, at this point, any help that can be given to try and combat these fires is help that we all need. Thank you very much for that video, guys. Really appreciate that. So let's see about this. This could possibly be a satellite video of the fire, and the credit for this one goes to CIRA satellites, Sierra satellites. Thank you, TMX. And the caption of the video is Sierra satellites. The Palisades fire and Eaton fire continue their rapid growth near Los Angeles, as both have scorched over 10,000 acres. And this was uploaded on January 8th. Stand by. Wow. Let's see that again. You can see the wind is blowing and the fires are just right there. The wind is blowing and the fires are just right there. Look how fast that wind is blowing. I don't know if that's in real time. I mean, I would be amazed if that was in real time, but you can see how intense it is. Pretty amazing. Pretty crazy, to be honest with you. Here we go. Let's look for more videos, and thank you very much. This is video from 4 days ago, and it's it could be pretty intense, and pretty intense video. This is 4 days ago, when almost at the beginning of this horrible season that started, and let's see if I can find that. No, it is not coming up. So stand by. It's not coming up. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, here, stand by. We'll look for one more video and then we'll just call it a day. We'll wrap it up. And then I'll give a brief headline. I'll give a brief news update. Let's see if anything's happening with, if we have any type of updates that the president is going to, is the president going to update anybody? Doesn't look like it today. And let's see if there are any new updates from the mayor's office. Doesn't seem like there's any new updates. There aren't any new updates from the mayor's office. Okay. 2 days ago. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. So this is from this is video from Orange County Fire Authority. This is credit from the Orange County Fire Authority /TMX. And the title of it is Palisades Fire, Orange County Fire Authority helps fight fire. We continue to stand alongside our fire safety partners to defend and support the communities impacted by the devastating wildfires. Stand by 1 second. Let me put that over to you. Here we go. So that was from the Orange County Department of the Orange County guys, and you can see that it's still pretty intense. It's still pretty intense out here in Southern California. From what I understand, the weather is supposed to be a little bit calmer. The wind is supposed to be a little bit calmer over the next couple of days. Well, today, Saturday, and Sunday. But Sunday night and possibly into Monday morning, the fires and the wind is supposed to pick up a bit more. And I don't know if that's going to impact the fires and it's going to cause fires to reignite and burn again. But I've heard many people say that in the Palisades, there's not much left to burn. And indeed, when I was up there yesterday, the fire has ravaged the area. I did speak with a friend of mine earlier today via text, and he said that his house in the Palisades, which is near the Getty Villa, is still standing. It hasn't burnt down. There has been some smoke damage, some damage caused by the smoke, but his house is still standing, and it's close to the Getty Villa. But that doesn't make it any easier. That his house is still standing. Could you imagine being only maybe one of 50 houses that are left standing in a community, the Pacific Palisades community, or even in your community that has been ravaged by fire and things like that? So again, my name is Don Hughes, and thank you for joining us for this portion and this segment of our live broadcast, our live streaming, global streaming on NetNewz.tv and ThirdStreet.tv. NetNewz.tv is a global news provider, and ThirdStreet.tv is a local Santa Monica provider, news provider, and we're trying to build these companies and build these digital platforms into legitimate news organizations. And right now, we're not making any money, and we're not asking for any money. We're not trying to get any donations or anything like that. We're just trying to do a public service. So if you're interested in joining NetNewz or in Third Street and sending us some of your content, please reach out to us at www.hmgi.tv/CJP. And CJP stands for the Citizen Journalist Project. And again, it is www.hmgi.tv/CJP, and that will get you. So all you have to do is register for an account, and you can upload audio and video files and picture files, and if we can, we will use those on our broadcast and give credit to you. So please, when you register for an account, please make sure that you put your full name or put an email address or how you would like to be credited. Please make sure that the information is correct. I don't want to have to go through any kind of fake news and things like that. I mean, this is a legitimate news organization. We're trying to use the internet as it was intended to be. You know, the Fourth Estate, protecting people, protecting information, not engaging in false information, fake information. I don't want to be combative. I don't want to engage in the cesspool of social media. You know who I'm talking about, and you know what I'm talking about. Let's do the right thing. Let's reach out and help each other. And if you're interested, again, visit www.hmgi.tv/CJP. Register for an account. You can upload your videos. You can upload some of your pictures, and you can be part of the global news revolution. Thanks again. I'm Don Hughes with hmgi.tv and ThirdStreet.tv. Take care. Until next time. ThirdStreet.tv. Take care. Until next time.